How does a bill become a law in Nevada? My name is Amanda Connor with the law firm of Connor & Connor, and we practice in the areas of business law and cannabis law. And for those practice areas, the legislative session can be very important. Did you know Nevada's legislature only meets every 2 years? And they meet from February to June unless there's extended or special sessions. And that means they have to get a lot of work accomplished, 2 years worth, in that period of time. And we are preparing for the upcoming legislative session, which begins February 3rd, 2025. Today, we want to talk about how does a bill become a law? How does the legislature do their work? The first step is the bill is drafted. Assemblymen and women, senators, administrative agencies, all can request to have bills drafted. It's things that are important to them, things they want changed, and then those bills are drafted by usually the Legislative Counsel Bureau. Once a bill is drafted, we get to the second step. The second step is the bill is introduced into the House of Origin. What is the House of Origin, you may ask? The House of Origin is if the bill is a Senate bill, it's introduced into the Senate. If the bill is an assembly bill, usually meaning it's sponsored by an assembly person, then it's introduced into the assembly. Once the bill is introduced and read on the floor, then we get to step 3. Step 3 is it is referred to committee. And a lot of things can happen in committee. It can die there, the committee can never consider it. It can be passed with a do pass vote and referred back to the House of Origin. So there's lots of options for committee. Once it is out of committee and back to the House of Origin, the place where it started, either the Assembly or the Senate, we get to step 4. And step 4 is there's a vote. It's read into the record again, and that House takes a vote. If it passes, then we go to step 5, and that's referral to the other chamber. So if the bill passed the Assembly, then it goes to the Senate, and vice versa. Then the other chamber goes through the process. They consider the bill, they can refer it to committee, they take a vote. If they take a vote and approve it just as the other house did it, then it's passed both houses and it goes on. If the second house makes an amendment and passes it, it has to go back to the original house to be considered. And they kind of go back and forth, and it only moves to step 6 if both houses, meaning both the Assembly and the Senate, pass the bill in the same form without any changes. If that happens, then we get to step 6. And step 6 is it goes to the governor. He or she has options. He can sign the bill into law. He cannot sign the bill, but if he just doesn't sign the bill, there's a period of time, and once that period passes, it will go into law without the governor's signature. Sometimes governors elect to do this to say they don't agree with it, but they know it's going to become a law anyways. And then the other option is they can veto it. If they veto the bill and the legislature is still in session, it goes back to the legislature to be voted on again, meaning both the Assembly and the Senate, and it needs a 2/3 vote to pass. If he vetoes it and the legislative session has already concluded, then the next legislative session, it will be up again for consideration. So while it sounds complex, and it is a lot of work and a lot of back and forth and negotiations and discussions, it's actually 6 simple steps for how a bill becomes a law.